Welcome back, everyone, to the Jerry Exclusive Podcast. Today, I'm very excited to have Georgia Gibson here with me today. Georgia Gibson graduated from Oxford with a double first in Italian and Spanish. She can play the clarinet, the jazz, the piano. She has an amazing presence on LinkedIn. I'm going to put the link down in the description. You can go check it out. But even more prominently, guys, she's a founder of UNI, an amazing new platform that is building an amazing new way for students to experience uni. So welcome, Georgia Gibson, to the Jerry Exclusive Podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm very, very good, thank you. I've never had someone bring up the fact that I played the clarinet in an intro. I love that. Music is actually really important to me, so I love that you mentioned that too.
Yeah. I've been trying to do more research because in the past I've just been like, oh, welcome my guest and blah blah blah. We just go into the podcast, but I want to have a better sort of introduction.
Have you seen like the Nardwuar videos on YouTube where he brings up really niche things in celebrities' lives?
Yeah.
He was really deep and find something super like, you have a friend in year 7 who can like, oh! Yeah,
something from all the way in the past. You'd be like, how did you know that? Yeah. That's so crazy.
Part of me was like, what the fuck? But then
Yeah. That was when I read that as well, because I did my research on you, obviously. I was like, wow, 3 instruments. That's amazing. I can't even play 2.
That's my main one, I'd say. That's kind of like the saxophone. I kind of left the clarinet for the sax. It's kind of like a cool version.
Okay.
Clarinet 2.0.
What's the difference between a clarinet and a sax? Because I feel like they're similar things.
So clarinet is like a long... I'm thinking like the shape. Saxophone is made out of, it's a different material. So clarinet is a wooden, kind of long woodwind instrument, and saxophone is made out of glass, often has a bend.
Yeah.
Usually used for jazz music.
Okay.
That's kind of a very simple explanation, but yeah.
Yeah. And I guess, when did your love for music start?
My love for music started when I was very, very small. I was lucky enough to grow up in quite a musical household where we would just always have... My parents aren't actually musicians, apart from my dad did join or is now part of a kind of punk rock band, but that was a later in life thing. But yeah, at home, it was always like you come home, do your schoolwork, and then you'd practice your instrument. That was just like part of our daily routine. I don't really know why. I think my parents just always saw musical instruments as a really fantastic way to learn delayed gratification from a young age, and like creative expression and performance. Like there's so much tied up in what you learn when you have to practice something and then you get to play it with others. You can learn collaboration. You can even write your own music creation. You can like be shit at something for a period of time and then be good. So you learn about how hard work is like the way to go, and it's not going to be fun for a while, but it's worth it. So yeah,
I think that's a great lesson to learn as well. And also, I've noticed there's something that I really like about your LinkedIn presence, which I don't think a lot of people do, because obviously people say LinkedIn is a very professional platform and everything like that, but I did my research on some of your posts and it's like, oh shit, the post is like, oh fuck, this happened to me. Oh shit, I'm so surprised. Like, what really is it about you that you sort of break out of the box? And obviously LinkedIn is a formal platform, but what is it about you that you feel like, you know what, I'm gonna express myself regardless of what the norms are?
I think I am different already. Like in the sector, I'm a female founder. I'm part of the LGBTQ community. Like there's a lot of differences going on already. So I feel like it would actually be inauthentic not to express myself as myself. I also think that I don't really agree with like putting a front on in any situation. I think the older I get and like the more lessons I learn is how similar we all are in really beautiful ways. Even if you form part of a minority group, we just basically recycle very similar human emotions, but in different contexts. Everyone brings their own context to them. So I just always put connection and communication above anything else. And if I think, oh shit, is the best way to communicate something over like, guess what happened to me today? I will. So I always want to make people feel like they can get to know me. Like in a post, I don't want to feel like you can get to know a bot I used or a hook generator I used, or feel like you're reading a post. I want you to feel like you're in my DMs and that we're having a chat. I also did languages at university, so I very much studied for 4 years communication, and I lived in 3 countries during that time, and the best way is to kind of speak other people's language, figuratively and literally. And I've just realized that the best way to connect is just being as true to what comes naturally as possible.
Yeah. Wow, that's really powerful, you know. I think that is a lesson that more people can learn, because they're obviously there's certain settings you walk into and you feel like you have to morph yourself into someone else. Like, oh, I'm in so and so area, everyone is like this, so I need to be like this as well. I think that is a big lesson that people can learn. What countries did you live in?
I lived in so I lived in Italy, Sardinia, an island of Italy. I lived in Seville in Spain, and I lived in Havana in Cuba.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Cuba is all the way in the Caribbean islands, right?
Yeah, it's like over, yeah, exactly that kind of area. And they speak Spanish there as well. And it's a very small island, but I was there during the pandemic, which was a very unique experience to be in a country with quite a repressive political system in already a very restrictive global context. So it was very difficult. Cuba ran out of a lot of resources. Like I heard in London that people were running out of like yeast or like baking things. And like the concept of baking is like even such like a privilege, like you're just cooking with fun. Whereas in Cuba, they ran out of like very basic necessities like butter and soap and paracetamol and sanitary products. So I was kind of living that experience, which was incredibly, big punch in the face of perspective, which I think is good sometimes.
Yeah, that's big. So you've lived in all these countries. So I can assume you speak Spanish, Italian, and English, right? Is there any other language? French, maybe?
No, I can understand French, some of it, not all of it. I mean, just because of the similarities between Italian and Spanish. Also, I can understand quite a lot of Portuguese because of that as well. I speak Spanish. I can't speak Portuguese. I can just kind of comprehend to a certain extent.
Okay, so if someone wants to say mucho gracias, aficion, what does that mean? Do you know?
Aficion. Wait, hold on. Muchas gracias. Are you speaking?
Yeah.
Muchas gracias. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and what does aficion mean?
Aficion.
Yeah.
To fiction. I'm not totally sure what you're saying there.
Something, because there's this Ronaldo clip where he's like muchas gracias, aficion, and he goes SUIII, something like that.
This is a meme.
Yeah, like a meme.
Oh, right. Oh, I know the one. Wait, hold on. Which clip is it?
I don't know if you speak in Portuguese or Spanish.
I think I don't. Wait, I think I know which bit you're talking about. It's basically like thank you very much, like kind of sir, like aficion is like a word in that. Like,
Okay.
Aficion means kind of like hobby. You know, if it's the clip I'm thinking about, he's kind of like muchas gracias, aficion. It's like my hobby, my interest kind of thing. That's what una aficion is.
Okay.
But I would need to watch the exact clip to get the context. But in just Spanish, it would be thank you very much, hobby, interest in some way.
Okay, I can see you got the Spanish like accent, pronunciation, the dialect, and the inflection. You got it spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get that? Because I watch what's it called? This Spanish show called Elite. I watched it like last year, and there's some people's names that are so Spanish to pronounce. Like there's this girl, her name is like something, but you have to really twist your tongue to say. You have to be like, and it's like so hard to pronounce. Like, how long did it take you to really grasp it?
So that question kind of links together the question you asked at the beginning about music. So it's all about your ear and being able to imitate sounds. Now, I kind of grew up playing jazz saxophone, and the best way to get better at improvisation, which is like a really cool tenet of a lot of jazz music, is by listening to other improvisations that you like and listening and basically mimicking, copying, and then building your own solos out of that. So from a young age, I kind of got very used to listening to sounds and being able to translate them musically, being able to copy them. So all it is I'm doing is I've just kind of inhaled loads of Spanish content and I would literally listen and then repeat, listen and then repeat, and I can just match sound. So all I'm doing is imitating the people around me, the people that I lived with.
Nice. Well, that's been a really great sort of intro about you. I feel like I've learned so much about you. In like 5 minutes, I feel like I've learned so much about you, but we have a lot more that I feel like we can delve into, and the people want to learn about you and your experience as well. But before we're going to do that, we're going to take a quick 10-second break, and we're going to be right back. Come on, let me closer. Don't be shy. If you guys want to win up to £200 worth of Amazon gift cards, then you need to listen to this quickly. I just need you to do 2 steps. Click that link, check out the free preview copy of my unreleased book, read the copy, and then go back to the website, then leave some feedback on how you thought the book was. That's all you have to do, guys. It's going to take you no more than 2 minutes. So don't tell anyone, because like I said, it's a secret. I don't want everyone winning £200 because, you know, I'm gonna go broke. So just keep it on a hush, do that for me, and it's gonna be great. So we're gonna start with some never have I ever questions. I just use this as like a little icebreaker, just to get to know more about the guest and sort of, you know, learn the things that they like or maybe don't like as much. And the glare is back, but we're gonna carry on. So first question, never have I ever gone 24 hours without sleep.
Yeah, I have. Sorry. Hold on. Do I need to drink?
Oh, no. No. We're not drinking over here. We're not drinking. We're not doing anything.
Yeah,
just put a thumbs up or say I have. Yeah. So you have. Okay. I'm guessing it was like something to do with, you know, your work. Being a co-founder must be very like, you know, you have a lot of things to do.
I think I've probably most done that in a social capacity.
Okay.
I would say just like all-nighters with friends.
Yeah.
Working consistently on a 20. I've worked very, very late.
Okay.
I've never done an all-night because ultimately, like, I do have I think my brain is one of my biggest assets, and you get to a certain point where either you have to keep going by. I don't drink coffee, so I wouldn't actually work 24 hours straight. But if I'm out, or I've worked till almost that, but I've done it at a social capacity, not set for a few days. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually love that so much because I don't drink coffee either. And I know coffee is like a staple for a lot of people. Like, oh, I need my coffee in the morning. But I feel like I don't know what's your ideology behind this, but I feel like it's more of a mental thing. Like, I don't want to depend on coffee. You get what I mean? Is that the same for you?
Yeah, hugely. I mean, I have a very addictive personality, so I'm very aware of anything that has kind of like any kind of addictive substance within it, and I don't do it for that reason because I wouldn't get hooked. So, and I think one of my like USPs as a founder is kind of energy. I seem to have quite a good natural resource of that. I don't know where it comes from, but I'm able to pull on kind of what's within here, and I don't want to lose that. Like, that's what I'm put all my time into, restoring my own energy rather than like finding it artificially.
Yeah, that's great to hear. It's great to hear. All right, second question. Never have I ever sucked your thumb as a child.
Yeah, I did this actually. I did 2 fingers.
Oh, like biting them or fucking them?
No, but I had 2 fingers rather than just one. I didn't know how it fit, but I did.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, mine was just always a thumb. I don't know. My parents had to start putting like hot sauce on my finger or something just so I'll stop doing it.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just did it anymore. So, next question. Never have I ever had a secret social media account that no one knew about.
I actually haven't done that. I've never had a solo social. I've never had a personal Instagram or a personal Snapchat or any of those things, let alone a secret one. I haven't had like a public facing one. I have them for my business now, but I've never had one just for me.
Oh, wow. So you're not really sort of a social media person.
Yeah, apart from LinkedIn, which is quite weird. It's like the only thing. Everyone's so surprised. They're like, God, you've never been active anywhere, and now you're like posting paragraphs about your life.
It just popped out of nowhere. Yeah. So like, are you more of like a, obviously in person? You like socializing in person than on social media?
Yeah, I think it's that, and it's also I became very aware quite prematurely. I don't really know why or what gave me this foresight in a way. Just I saw when Instagram was becoming a big thing when I was in my teens, and the mobile, iPhones and smartphones and all of that, I just became super aware of what it was doing to my friends' brains. And I was just like, I don't want to be addicted in that way to scrolling or instant gratification, or really care about what I look like as a girl growing up. There's so many pressures. I don't want to care about, I mean, I had Facebook, so I did have one of them, but like any of the ones that like seriously media focused or seriously like aesthetic focused, I just thought this isn't going to be healthy for my sense of self. So I just never got involved. I've definitely missed out on some stuff because of it. So I wouldn't like say that it's always the like cleverest route, but for me, I think it also gave me quite an interesting perspective on social media, I think now, and then ultimately I'm trying to build a social network. So I think I've kind of bring a different view to it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that from such a young age, where most people aren't really thinking like that, in a sense of maybe I shouldn't hop on this trend because I can see what it's doing to people. Everyone, like when TikTok came out, everyone was just hopping on it because their friends were hopping on it. So I feel like that's a really
they're great. Like I now use them for my businesses. I think they're great tools for advertisement and entertainment. They're not social tools as much. I don't see them as a social network, any of these platforms. Like it's the media channel. They're great for that. And I use them for that. And I've learned a lot. Like there's loads of educational content on there, and I really benefit from it as well.
Yeah, that's really powerful. I feel like you have an old school brain for some reason. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because a lot of people I speak to who don't use social media, either they're old school, or maybe they grew up in the countryside, or they grew up in like maybe an environment where they didn't have access to phones from a young age. Like for me, I grew up in West Africa, so I didn't have a phone till I was like probably 11 or 12, and my first phone was like the worst version of a Nokia brick. So like I think that's where the sort of my personality of liking social interactions in person over liking sort of FaceTime and all that comes from. But where did yours come from?
That's a really good question. I think so. In terms of having like an old school brain, I think I've constantly grown up. Like I'm a big reflector and thinker on things, and I've always felt like I was in my head and outside of the room in a way, which kind of surprises people because I come across as a bit of an extrovert, but I'm actually not. I'm actually more of an introvert, actually, but I can just kind of have adapted to know how to use my energy in situations. And I think that I've constantly grown up feeling very, very different to people. And I think that's a combination of growing up gay, which does make you different to most of the world, and not really understanding where you fit in social situations and constantly feeling different but not knowing why. That like, being gay like isn't a choice at all, but accepting it is, and that journey to getting to pride or whatever, I think is a really interesting one in a young person's development of their sense of self. So I would say that in doing so, in kind of coming to terms with my identity and trying to find community, I've constantly gone out and built communities, or like tried to find myself in loads of different passions and projects and with different people, and just become loads of different versions of myself. I was like constantly out, like I wanted to do music, maybe I'll fit in there, maybe I'll fit in sport, and realizing the power of passions and of delayed gratification and all of these kind of things, and how I didn't find any of those senses on my phone, and realized like that's not where I'm going to find who I am and what I so desperately needed to do. And yeah, I think it kind of came from there. I'm still working on the answer to that question. I think life, in as much as life is about like actually fulfilling your purpose, it's all about also reverse engineering to find like, why am I the way that I am? And part of, I think every person's purpose is in a way the pursuit of their own purpose. Like I know that my purpose is to help people find theirs, to like find delayed gratification. But in doing so, each step I get further in this journey, I'm kind of finding out more about why I'm so addicted to that and as a journey as well. So, but right now I think it's because of my childhood, as most things.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. All right. Fourth question. Never have I ever experienced stage fright.
Oh my God. Loads of times. Yeah. Big time. Because I used to do like saxophone performances all of the time. I was in plays. like quite a lot of performing, but I've done a lot of public speaking. I always feel stage fright. I feel stage fright before like pitching my business on calls. I don't know if that's still called stage fright. Maybe it's called screen fright. I'm not sure. But like I love stage fright. Like that's just adrenaline. That's just fight or flight. It's like me on the Sahara running after or away from a lion. Like I live for that.
Yeah. How was your first ever public speaking experience? Like what were the symptoms? Obviously there's the normal sweatiness and stuff like that, but was there something that stood out? Like maybe when you were speaking you could feel your voice trembling and stuff like that?
Weirdly, luckily, I think I don't actually tremble. I think I'm okay at hiding the fact that I'm scared. I would say, yeah, there's like the sweating, there's the heart racing, there's all of that, the classic symptoms. Sometimes not articulating things in the most efficient way possible, which I'm still working on. Being concise is such a valuable skill. It's like the best way to be compelling. I mean, as social media has taught us, hooks. So, but yeah, I think I kind of sometimes just lose concision, I guess, probably as I am.
I can completely relate. But sometimes you want to say, I want an apple, but instead you go on and say, I'm hungry and my stomach is rumbling, therefore I might want an apple that is on the table. Like just say I want an apple. You know, I can so relate to that. And it's something that you just catch in your brain and you're like, why did I do that? I could have just said this, but instead I went all the way around. But yeah, I can relate with that. Last question. Never have I ever met a celebrity.
I have met a celebrity. I've done these never ever. Yeah, I have. Yeah. It's an interesting one, that, because it's always kind of like people say don't meet your heroes, but I kind of love finding out that actually celebrities are people, just passionate people.
Was it at like because I've heard at Oxford Union they have celebrities coming every week and stuff like that.
Yeah, they do. The kind of reputation of the university allows them to invite some pretty world-renowned guests to speak. So that I was very privileged to be able to be witness to some really incredible talks.
Who was your favorite one?
My favorite talk was by a Italian politician called Beppe Grillo. That maybe is not that interesting to you at all. And the reason I don't necessarily agree with everything that he said or did, but all of the Italians in the audience like got up and started heckling him, and then he stormed out, and it was just so dramatic. And there was a I could understand it all as well because I speak Italian, but there was a translator that couldn't keep up with the shouting match that was going on. And so at that point, the translation has to be like, they're having an argument. And I was just like trying to translate to my friends, like, go back. And it was amazing. But not necessarily because of the guest, but because I really was like excited to see him. Just the whole way the scene played out was so engaging.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the Never Have I Ever questions. For like I said at the start, there's so much more I feel like we can learn about you. I've been thinking about this question of asking you, do you like talking about your academic achievements, or do you feel like maybe they make people have an opinion about you too quickly?
I mean, if people had an opinion, I don't think I would mind that opinion. I mean, their achievements, I guess. So if people think that they're impressive, then I'm happy to have that opinion. Also, yeah, I'm proud of what I've achieved academically, and I'm proud of the degree that I did. So I don't mind talking about it if I'm being really transparent.
Yeah. And which would you say, if you had to rank it, you know, if someone was like, right now, Georgia, you have to, I'm gonna shoot you in your kneecaps or something, and you had to rank entrepreneurship or your academic achievements, which would you pick?
Where have I achieved more?
No, which one would you pick? Like, which one do you want to like make your identity, sort of?
But entrepreneurship for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that actually a lot of my academic achievements have sprung from the same mindset that is my identity as an entrepreneur. Like, it's all about discipline. It's all about kind of momentum and energy and creativity. So it's the same thing to me, to be honest.
Nice. I think we're going to delve into a lot more about your entrepreneurship journey with Uni. Just quickly before we close up for part 2, what's Uni about? Because obviously on your LinkedIn page it says we're building a new way for students to experience uni. Can you sort of elaborate on that?
Yeah, so Uni is my uni. The business is spelled Youni. And it's basically, and the reason for that is it's all about like the personalized experience of university. So we are building an aggregate app for extracurricular and social life based off of the fact of the universal problem that beyond the lecture list, students don't really know what the fuck is going on. And there's like so much incredible stuff to do at uni, from the sports, the societies, the music, the drama, etc. It's basically 3 to 4 years for you to play dress up, for you to try stuff out, for you to find your people, find your passions, connect with career opportunities, find your profession, so that you leave university as a developed person, actually knowing what you want to do with the rest of your life, or at least having an idea for areas you want to explore, and making friends and falling in love and like all of that stuff, rather than just spending all your time indoors. You know, student isolation figures have gone up, student mental health problems are at an all-time low, etc. Like that shouldn't be the case when you're in a circularized campus of other young people. That's an incredible experience, and we want to build out that side and help people to access them.
Yeah. We're definitely going to talk a lot more about uni. I think it's such a new way of putting it, because I can relate so much with my university. There's so much that goes on, but I don't necessarily have a direct access to it. You know, I can't just be like, oh, I want to go to this event, where can I book it? So I think uni,
it's
obviously,
really it's just so scattered over so many different platforms at the moment. So we're just trying to bring it all in one.
Yeah.
Like the idea in itself, like, isn't rocket science, but I really believe that often the best ideas it's just like the power of executing them in a really engaging way, and that's kind of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, amazing. We will touch up on all of this again in part 2. So guys, Don't go anywhere. Make sure you stay tuned. Thank you for watching this episode. Georgia, thank you for giving up your time.